my channel. I'm sorry about the little guest on the little show that I've got here. He's doing a little cameo for me. And also I apologise, I'm having a no makeup day and I'm trying to get the condition of my hair going good, so it's a little bit messy and so I apologise for that in advance. But as you've probably guessed from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about loneliness, and loneliness specifically as a mother. Obviously, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know I'm a mum of 2 boys, one here, this is Albie and he is 4 months old, and this one over here is Jake and he is 2 years old. So basically I just wanted to offer some sort of tips and advice on the things that I have done to basically get myself out there, stop myself feeling lonely and get myself feeling back to normal and being 100% me again after having Albie. Now don't get me wrong, gonna get comfy for this. I feel like I'm like getting really comfy and oh god, I'm sorry about the boobs. Don't get me wrong, I love my boys to pieces and I wouldn't change them for the world at all, and I would much rather stay at home and look after them myself than, you know, send them off to nursery and go to work and work to pay for them to go to nursery. It just doesn't make sense in my head to do that, so I opted to be a stay-at-home mum and Matt goes out and does the work, but that does obviously mean that he is doing the work of 2 people and he is trying to earn the income of 2 people, and that's not an easy feat for anybody, and you know, he does a really good job of that. He's out a lot. Now if you've watched any of my vlogs or my previous videos, you will see that I'm not necessarily, you know, with him much and he's not really in them much, and that's because he's not here a lot. It's as simple as that really. So I am, I'm saying all the time. So I am a single parent practically, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I can't really say that, but I do spend a lot of time on my own with the children, parenting them myself, and it's not easy at all. These are a few things that I have done this past month to stop me from feeling like I'm going mental and going absolutely insane by staying in the house all the time and feeling sorry for myself. The first thing that I started to do was I asked around in some groups that I am a part of on Facebook. I asked around in a couple and I got the most replies in a certain one which is dedicated to breastfeeding women, and I've been a member of that group for quite a long time and the people on there have always been lovely anyway, but they were extra lovely. I asked what they did with their 2-year-old and little babies, or their toddlers and little babies. You know, what do you do, where do you go and how do you do it? Because I find it so hard to find somewhere that's appropriate for both boys. I can always find activities for Jake or for Albie, but not for both. So it's kind of like I have to divide myself, but I can't divide myself because there's only one of me. I need to take both of them to each place, and I can't be running around after Jake when I have Albie in my arms and I can't really put him down anywhere, and if I'm on my own I don't really feel comfortable just dumping him in a pram in a random place and leaving him there. So like, you know, I feel like activities were kind of out of the question. So I asked what they did. A lot of people said things like coffee shops, but I mean that's all money and things like that, and I'm trying to save money, so I mean I think I need to take him to gymnastics. Taking him to numerous activities is kind of out of the question. Also, coffee shops aren't cheap because if I go I want a coffee and he'll probably want food or a cake or something or other. So coffee shops weren't really the ideal. So then there was this other lady that was really nice, and she said to me, have you tried Cherubs? It's like a stay and play. There was a lovely lady that was mentioning about this group, and it's basically for breastfeeding women, which was great. So it's somewhere where I could feed comfortably and also let Jake run around, because that's always my fear, is if Albie needs feeding, how can I chase after Jake? I tend to take him to soft play a lot because he's kind of safe in there and he can't get away, but at the same time he ends up going on like the 5-year-old bit where they're not supposed to go on there on their own, and then I'm finding myself like stuck between where do I put Albie or what do I do? So it's a bit daunting to try and go on my own. So this sounded perfect. So I went and it was amazing, and I don't know why I was ever worried about going to a playgroup group slash like meeting area for mums. It was amazing and it was the best thing I ever did. Jake can play as much as he wants. They give you snacks whilst you're there. You get a cup of tea and coffee, and it's just great. It's just a lovely clean place where there's lots of toys. There's an outside bit for in the summer, and they have so much knowledge and so much support for breastfeeding as well. Even, you know, even if you're bottle feeding, I'm sure there is something out there similar to that. I mean, I know there's a lot of churches do local groups, and there's a lot of children's centres that offer like stay and play, so it's super cost effective and absolutely perfect if you want to watch the pennies. So that was definitely one of the best decisions I have made this month. The next thing is activities. So I found like I was really struggling to find an activity for Jake that we could go to and he could enjoy, but you know, me not have to get involved too much because of obviously having Albie. And I also didn't want to have to like be, oh, every time Matt's off we've got to go and do this activity, because sometimes he just wants to sit in and have a nice day in with his family, or we want to go do something as a family rather than just go and do an activity with Jake. So I have found this organisation called Little Kickers. You may have heard of them. They are very popular and they are all over the country. They're a complete franchised business, so there's some everywhere basically. And they're basically like a little football team coaching place. And that just did not come out right. So they teach your children how to play football. They teach your toddlers how to play football. I will pop a link to the website in the down bar so you can go on over and have a look at that if it interests you at all. It was definitely something that I really wanted him to have a look at and see if he enjoyed it, because he does love football. You can probably see in a couple of my vlogs he's kind of like kicking a ball around and really loves it. He loves running after it, and he was playing with 2 older boys not so long ago with the football in an actual football area, and he absolutely loved it. You pay, I think it's £35 or something like that for 6 or 7 sessions. You can pay for more at once if you want to, but I just thought if he doesn't like it, at least it's only 6 sessions we have to go to, and if by the end of the 6 sessions he's bored and he doesn't want to go anymore, it's not as dramatic as if I'd have paid for a 12-week block and then he really doesn't like it and I've paid all that money. They also get like a little football kit, so they're like all part of a team, and the best part about it is I don't have to run around after him. So when they are aged 2 to 3.5, they go in this like other group, and basically the coaches do most of the running around and looking after them. You just obviously sit there on the sidelines. You obviously can't just drop them off and go, which I wouldn't want to do anyway, because I would want to watch him do something like that. I would really want to watch him play football and stuff, so it's going to be great for me to go. We've signed up, we're on the waiting list, and hopefully that should be something we're going to start taking part in at the end of the month, which is going to be really good for him. He's going to really enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to that. The next thing is, don't wait for people to ask you to go out. You ask them. If you really want to go out and you really want to see people, then make the effort. Ask them. If they say no, don't take it as like, oh well, obviously they don't want to spend time with me because I've got kids, blah blah blah. It's nothing to do with that. Just make the effort and try and be confident about it. Try not to be like, oh, you know, I don't know them very well, or I haven't seen them for a while. Just make that contact, make that first move, and you be that person that asks everybody to do things all the time, and then one of these times they will turn around and they will say yes. I know everybody's busy, and when you're a stay-at-home mum you tend to think, oh well, you know, they've got work. You make excuse after excuse, and you really don't need to. You really don't. People, if they want to see you, they will see you, and just make the effort. Probably tip number 4. I was trying to keep track of these. This is probably tip number 4 though, and it's make plans, make exciting things to do. So when you're finally not on your own anymore and you have your husband with you, or if you are generally a single parent, just make plans, make some fun, exciting things to do to get you out the house, and something that you can really look forward to. Hold that thought. Even if it's something that doesn't cost much money, just make those plans. Get yourself off on a trip away and have fun with it, and just try not to think too much into it. Just make a plan on a whim and just go with it, and it'll make your life more exciting, and you will feel so much better about yourself if you just make that decision. And I know it's not always easy, especially when your partner's working all the time, or if you are on your own. It isn't easy to afford it, it's not easy to plan it, but just do it. Make the time, find the money and do it, because it will make you feel so much better, and it will give you something to look forward to. And the best thing about having something to look forward to is that there's purpose, and there's something you're thinking about constantly, and like, oh, I can't wait to do this and I can't wait to do that. And that's really nice to have, especially when you're at home all the time. And sometimes it does feel a bit like the days just drag into one, and you don't really know if it's Monday, Friday or Wednesday anymore. You can really lose yourself with that, and you can really struggle to kind of get back to some normality in your life. And I think that is probably one of the best things to do, is just to plan a few things. Even if it's, oh, on this day we'll make the effort and we'll go to this park that we've never been to before, catch the bus or go in the car and just take that trip out, make a picnic, make it exciting, get the kids excited, and, you know, enjoy yourself a bit more, and stop thinking that just because you're a stay-at-home mum, that's all you've got to do is stay at home. It isn't. You can get out there and you can do more. Number 5. But the tip number 5 is pretty much to understand that you aren't alone in this. You aren't the only person that feels lonely, and you are certainly not alone. It's a very real thing to feel lonely after having a baby, or after having more than one child, and you can become isolated and feel isolated, but you aren't. And you have family, you have friends, and even if you don't have family or friends, then you have these opportunities to go out and make some friends, go out and have fun with your children and enjoy them while they're little. It's easier said than done, like anything, but I have been active this past month in making myself get out there, stop feeling sorry for myself and stop feeling lonely. I will link down below a vlog where I explain how I feel about being lonely and why I feel like I'm lonely. It basically is where I take the boys on a walk, and it just hits me a little bit that I am on my own an awful lot. And maybe you can relate to that video and feel a bit better about yourself and understand that you really aren't on your own. And there's so many women out there that understand what you're going through, and sometimes it just helps if you talk about it. That leads me into my final tip, and that is, make something that you can enjoy but vent. So like, I took up YouTube for that exact reason. I felt so lonely and I wasn't that confident at making friends or going to new places on my own, because I'm quite a shy person generally. You wouldn't think it because I do this, but I am talking to a camera lens. I am not talking to anyone specifically, although it may feel like it when I'm talking to you and you're looking at me through the camera and I am making eye contact with you. I am not physically facing a person, and that helps me because I can really get my point across and I can really understand myself. Even if you're not confident enough to pick up the camera and have a go at filming your things, maybe just set them to unlisted or don't upload them at all. Just buy yourself a cheap camera, pop some videos, you know, record your day, and then look back on it and then delete it and just leave it at that. And it's just a way for you to talk and vent and get it out for a reason, because you don't exactly tend to just talk in the mirror at yourself, or maybe you do, maybe that's another way of doing it. Or maybe if you like writing and you're a good writer, or even if you're not a good writer, maybe set up a blog or a diary, just something you can get everything out onto. It's so hard when you do feel lonely to get off your backside and make something of it. Just make a difference to yourself. It can be so hard to do that, and I know because I've been there these last few months, and I know it might sound cliche, and you know, people will probably watch this and be like, oh my god, you signed up for it, you had 2 kids, I'd love to stay at home, and I'm a working mum and I'd love to do what you do, but a lot of people don't understand that when you are a stay-at-home mum, your job is very hard. Being a stay-at-home mum does not mean that you cannot moan. You can moan all you like. So that is everything. I hope you really enjoyed these tips. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I know I can go on a bit when I talk about these kind of things and do these chattier videos. But yeah, I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps, because you know, you really aren't alone in this. You're really not on your own. Everybody goes through different situations in parenting, and you know, we're all different, we all have different scenarios, but it's certainly a commonality between all of mums out there, and dads even, stay-at-home dads too. We all feel the same thing, so don't worry about it, and hopefully you will find a tip in here that works for you, and you will be able to use it and feel a bit less lonely this month, and maybe make that your little goal for the month. That's what I did last month. Just set yourself that little goal that I will get out more and I will stop myself feeling so lonely, and I think you will be not far off being a very, very happy person again. Not that you probably weren't before, but you know, just feeling a bit less lonely makes you happier. And I'm now being kicked in the head by my toddler. So I'm gonna have to go now and go back to being a mum, because my, you know, 15 minutes of time to record are up, because he's getting a bit crazy and he's gonna start climbing off me soon. So I'm gonna leave it there. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up for me, and leave a comment if you want to. I'd love to hear from anybody that watches these videos, because I'm absolutely shocked that anybody does. But if you do watch them, please feel free to leave me a comment. And if you're new and this is the first video you've watched, don't forget to click in that down bar and go have a look at that vlog that I mentioned. Also, have a look at my other videos if you fancy it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye! Bye!